Another Christian concept which might seem to us backwards is this one. In order to be truly free, you must be a slave. Now, it's true there's no biblical verse that says exactly that, but there are many biblical verses that get to that sort of concept, and in many different ways. Here we're going to talk about one of those ways, maybe coming from something like Psalm 119. There it says this, "I will always obey your law, and I will walk about in freedom, for I have sought your precepts." Now that might seem backwards to us because of the way we understand freedom and law. When we hear the word law, we might say, well, that is a rule that constrains us. It restricts our freedom. That's not what laws do. If you obey the laws, then you don't have more freedom, you have less freedom. That's the way that we think about freedom most often in America, because we think in terms of political freedom. Hey, I'm free. I can do what I want, when I want, and how I want to do it, because I am a free person. But the Christian notion of freedom is much different than that, and I think much better. It's not just an absence of restraint. It's not just being able to do what you want, how you want, when you want, these sorts of things. But all Christian concepts are relational, because Christianity is about a relationship with God. So even freedom itself is about being connected to God. And I think that that's much better. Because if we do anything we want, we might find that we are disconnected from everything that we want and love. And the Christian concept of freedom is much better than that. We are to be connected to God. If you think about a simple law like driving the speed limit, it might seem like it restrains you. You have to abide by it, and by doing that, you're not free to drive where you want and how fast you want. But if you abide by that law, you will probably live longer. And people who are alive are more free than those who are in coffins. That's sort of what the Christian concept is with regard to freedom. But it's not just about laws, it's about being connected to God Himself. And I think of the analogy of a kite and a kite flyer. If you think of a kite, it's way up high in the sky, and there's a certain freedom to its movement. It can move back and forth, but the reason it has that sort of freedom is because it is connected to the kite flyer. If you were to sever that connection from the kite flyer, it would be completely free, but only for a moment. It would fly down, and then it would be on the ground, and then the wind would push it back and forth, and it would be destroyed. It would not be more free. At the end of the day, it would be less free. But a kite and a kite flyer, it is free to move because of that very connection that it has to the one who's guiding it. In fact, the Hebrew word that we translate freedom is rachab, and that means, more literally, all directions. And so you can imagine that kite and the freedom that it has because it is connected to the kite flyer. If you're willing to be a slave, then you will have a greater